I'll be upstairs.
Oh, okay.
You need to get home.
Well, thank you.
Sure.
Okay, Kevin Dye painting. Okay, so I just took a look at the inside. I kind of drew out a little map of what I'm looking at in there, so that way we can kind of go and decide on how much stuff and what's actually going to be happening. Out here, yeah. So some of these colors, and some of the wood is definitely in need of a little bit of prep and disrepair and so forth. Not a big deal. So I'll just kind of start and let you know what we do. Obviously, pressure washing is key. I would suggest not having us stain this underneath. It looks pretty good, and after we clean it, it'll look even better. But they'll save you a little bit of material and time on that. So obviously, same thing that you're seeing here, except for the difference is that we caulk in. Like a lot of these lines, we caulk in the sides. We caulk that stuff in. It's very important for longevity, to keep the water and so forth out. Everything that is painted now would be repainted. Everything that is stained would be restained, pretty much across the board as we do it. So if I don't point at something and tell you we're going to paint it, we still will. Usually what I do too, when I do this T111 siding, I usually just mask the plastic off, and I take this box and the pipe and I spray that into that color. I've found that just kind of helps with, it just looks a lot cleaner and looks a lot nicer. Gutters are etched with a vinegar solution and a pressure washer so as to make sure that they hold paint, and then they are cleaned very well, and then they are painted. I'll just kind of walk the back side here first before I go up on the deck. Pretty normal stuff. Pretty normal everyday stuff. It looks like they started to caulk that window in. Pretty much normal stuff. We are a prep-based company, so for us, you know, it's very important that all these things are caulked in. Everything that needs to be primed is primed. Very important for what we do. Longevity is key. We have a 2-year warranty, so I want things to last. Nothing back here. I really like this darker color, and you know, I'm not sure about some of the other colors. I'm kind of with you on that. So we can get you samples. We have some ideas. I don't really mind the maroon. I kind of think that's kind of nice, actually. The maroonish barn red. Little woodpecker started, but you guys got to him, so that's good. Yeah, gutter work for sure. When we pressure wash, we usually pressure wash off the house, and then when we trench the dirt back from the house in this area, like down there, we'll remove a lot of that stuff so it's not sitting against that wood, which is not a good thing to have. Let me see here. Now, the multiple colors can definitely be interesting for sure, because in that way, you know, for us painting, we have to come through and we have to mask all that off. So if you decide if our price is fair for that work, then awesome. If you decide that you want to save a little money too, one way of us doing that is to take this body color, what we call it, and wrap it up underneath. So it's kind of what you find on most houses. I can see it's what's on your neighbor's house as well, and that saves some of the detail work, but at the same time, if you really like that two-tone look, that's nice as well. But there are ways that we could wrap that underneath and then just have a trim color out here and a body on the eaves outside, and that's how it mostly is. Most of the time the cottage look like this is pretty nice, but it does take you you know, it does take painters a while, because we have to plastic off the house, we have to do all kinds of work, and it slows us down. So unfortunately, that just adds in a cost. But we can accent things, like we can accent the brown on the outside. So when I say the brown, I mean the actual area, not the color. So if you picked a color and said, this is what I would like, we could accent all these beams, all these uprights, and this beam, and all the outside. We could do that in a really nice color. And that's not a big deal, but I've just found that saving a little money by getting rid of the 2 or 3 or 4 tones could definitely behoove people if they're on a budget, getting up underneath this. So basically I have a body color, then it's trim color, and then I have a third color, and then the fascia. So there is ways of minimizing that detail work and still making it look really nice. So we can keep that in mind. I can definitely refinish that door, clean it up. It's never going to look brand new. but we can make it look pretty darn nice. It appears as if the windows were replaced, and those are nice. So deck seems somewhat solid. Again, you know, so if we decided that you like not having the body color be this, on this huge awning, we could have that another color. You know, that could be your accent, and we could still keep the fascia the same. So there's a lot of direction that they could go to go from, but the triple and 4 colors can definitely become time consuming. Don't get me wrong. We love to do it, and we'll book the job, and not a big deal to us, but there are ways to save a little bit of money and modernize the look as well, to kind of bring it into what we're doing up here a lot right now too. This screen door looks fine. This guy right here could just use a good coat of spar varnish. Not a big deal. We take a lot of time with the outsides of these beams because they're always so beat up. So we tend to kind of go through those beams and make sure that they're really prepped. Very important aspect. Very nice house. I like it a lot. So let me see here. Everything else pretty standard. So if we were going to do a refinish on this deck, I'll explain to you what that means. What it means for us. So for dye painting, our definition of a refinish is we reset all the nails. So all the nails are reset all the way down with a punch by hand. And then we come in and then we sand the entire deck down to a bare wood. So every board here and this guy right here is sanded down. And then these are just cleaned really good with a pressure washer. It is a pretty labor intensive thing, but I can send some pictures. Once it is done, it appears as if it's brand new. And it's definitely, this deck, it might be time for it. So it appears, and then whenever we find a creak, we sink a screw. So that kind of helps a lot as well. So with that aspect. So the refinishing can be expensive. You know, not overly expensive, obviously, but it's a pretty good chunk of material here. But we could make it, I mean, it could be gorgeous. We could make this appear as if it's new wood, and that's definitely something. Now, if price is an issue on the deck, then we could always go with a solid stain, and then that lowers your price because we're not doing all the sanding and the heavy detail work. So that's there too. That's something to consider as well. A lot of considerations, a lot of different aspects that we can go with right here, and that's the only tough thing. Steps are easy. We just sand them down by hand. Not a big deal. Most of this is pretty easy stuff. We do a ton of these, and we love to bring them back to life. I think the biggest thing, and then this door, my suggestion would be that we paint the door whatever trim color. Just, it would look so much better than a big white door with all these colors. So a lot of prep on this, and then these will be bleached and wood brightener used, and so that we could actually get in and stain that a nice color. And it would be really nice to be able to stain that the color of the deck. That would really pop. You'd pull up and it would just have this wood, beautiful wood. And we do a lot of that stain work as well. So pretty self-explanatory stuff for the most part on our end, probably not so much on yours. I'm probably you know, I'm so accustomed to our terminology and our lingo, but I can definitely write up a couple different ideas on it. Looks like that was fixed and primed up there as well. And we'll kind of get you an idea of what you're looking at and go from there. And we do have some time left on our season as well. So thank you for the ability, the chance to look at it, and have a great day. All right, bye.